Hi everyone, and welcome back to Pilates on the water. And we've moved the boat today to Crick, and we're here at the beautiful Crick Jubilee Wood and Crick Hill for our session today. So without further ado, come along with me to the flower meadow and we'll get going. So for today's warm-up, we're going to come into standing position and just make sure you've got a nice stable base with your feet, placing the heels underneath your hips, nice soft knees. We are engaging the core muscles, lengthening the tail down towards the mat and drawing that belly button towards the spine. Just give that chest a gentle lift and relax the shoulders back and down, bringing some softness to your elbows, and those fingers are loose. Lengthening up through the back of your neck and reaching into the crown of your head. And we'll just start off with a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and then exhaling out through your mouth. As you take that inward breath, lengthening the spine, reaching tall. And as you take that exhalation, tightening the tummy muscles and just finding those inner core muscles, lifting your pelvic floor towards your center. Starting the warm-up then, we're going to warm up the upper part of the spine and then work our way down. Inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, we'll just come into a gentle head nod. A head nod drawing the chin towards your chest. Keep those shoulders back. Inhale to restack the neck carefully. And again, exhale, head nod. We'll just do one more. Inhale, reaching tall, and exhale, head nod. Restack to center. And then just warming up through those shoulders, gentle shoulder rolls with the breath, drawing the shoulder towards the ears, the back, and then all the way down. Some slow, smooth breaths as you go. Keep those elbows nice and soft and relax the weight of your arms. And one more gentle shoulder roll. Well done. Let's just take that a little further now into some wider arm sweeps, reaching long into those fingertips. To begin with, keep your arm circles a little below shoulder height. Lengthen into the fingers, chest is out. Keep drawing down towards the mat with your tail and the belly button towards the spine. Now we're going to begin to make those circles a little bit larger, wider and higher. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just one more. Well done. Now tightening through the waist, we'll reach up and across the body to the side and center. Now as you reach the arm over your head, coming across, try not to allow the arm or the shoulder to twist to the front. Imagine you are reaching between two plates of glass directly to the side, keeping the weight even over the feet and the hips as level as possible. We should really feel that in the waist. One more. Well done. Now we're going to lengthen those arms out to the side and take a small twist to the side. Just bringing the arms with you as you take that small turn to the corner and then back to center. Exhaling across and inhale center. Now as you take these small spine twists, be careful that the second arm doesn't come across the body like this. We want that arm to stay out to the sides of the chest. Keep the hips level so they're not following this movement. They're staying facing the front of the room. Exhale last time and inhale and release that down. Well done. Just give those shoulders a little roll out, and now we're going to warm up through the hips slightly. So just drawing a few small circles with your hips all the way around your feet. Now make sure it is the hips that are moving in that larger circle, and that you're not circling your shoulders instead. Try and keep the shoulders more or less above your feet. We need soft knees for this movement, and you should feel that all the way around the waist. And reverse. Nice steady shoulders and wide circling of the hips. Feeling that across the top of the thighs and all the way around the waist. And just 2 more there. Continuing with those deep breaths. Well done. And then coming center. Now I'm going to step wide. You can walk the toes out, the heels out, the toes again, the heels again, and maybe one more. So we're really wide with those feet. Just tuck the tail under and lengthen down towards the floor. And we start to feel that just stretching across the front of the hips there, nice and tall. It's better to have wide feet for this next move. We want to open one knee out to the side, but keep the body facing that front edge of the mat and open up that knee so the knee is pointing towards your toe, but it is not out any further than the toe. We want that knee pretty much above the ankle there. I'm going to reach across with the opposite arm and just hold that position for a moment, and then inhale, palm uppermost, reaching to the back, but I haven't straightened the leg. It's remaining in that slightly bent position. And again, inhale out towards the back, exhale across, and feel that just twisting and pulling across those waist muscles. Well done. And then we'll start to straighten out that leg, come back to center, and go to the opposite side. So that knee is now bent on the other side. Just bring those shoulders and hips towards the front edge of the mat. Open that knee. Opposite arm comes across. Inhale to reach back and look down the whole length of your arm towards the tips of those fingers. Inhale. Shall we do 2 more? And just 1 more. Well done. And then straightening out that leg and carefully just walk the feet back in towards the center. Now we're going to do a little roll down next. So we do need the feet in parallel. And you can come to the end of your mat ready to roll all the way out, which will be our next move. We've got some softness with those knees. Feet are in parallel. The weight is even over the soles of the feet. We're lengthening down with the tail and really engaging the core. We'll inhale to lengthen into the fingertips. Exhale, just bring the arms over towards the body and the chin towards the chest. We're rolling through the upper spine, drawing in with the rib cage, rounding the back, scooping in with the belly, and just starting to reach those fingers towards the floor. I'm only going to come as far as the knees or slightly below, and then inhale to restack. Start off with a half roll down, and then gradually, as the spine begins to warm up, we'll start to make that a little bit deeper and lower. Now it's important that we keep the knees soft. This isn't a hamstring stretch, so be careful you don't lose your hips towards the back. As you roll, focus on opening up one vertebra at a time through the spine. And if you find an area that feels tight or straight, just pause for a few seconds on that area. And we'll do 1 more, just coming down towards the feet. Inhale up and exhale out and down. Well done. So now, if you're not there already, we're going to step towards the end of your mat. Again, just make sure we've got nice soft knees. We're lengthening down with the tail and really engaging those core muscles. We'll inhale, ready for roll down. Exhale and rolling through the body towards the mat. And this time we're going to walk it out onto our all four position. So in all fours, we'll continue to warm up. Make sure your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Elbows are a little bit soft. There's a little micro bend in the elbow there. We're engaging the core muscles. The feet are in line with the knees and the knees directly under the hips. And at the moment we're in our neutral spine, so bring the head up and in line, and then take an inward breath to lengthen into the crown of your head and the tip of your tail. As you breathe out, scoop in with the belly to round the back. We're pushing the center of the back towards the ceiling for our cat stretch. Inhale, and we're coming back through neutral spine, but taking it further into extension. The back of the head comes up, the tail comes up, and you can see we're hollowing the back. And just keeping that cat-cow exercise going from one movement through the spine, that rounded flexion, to that second point in the spine, the hollow extension. Now, if you're struggling with your knees, I'm going to give you an adaptation for this move. So if that's you, just come onto your back, and we can still round and flex the spine with the support and help of the floor. Just drawing those knees into a tight tuck, and on the exhalation, we're drawing the forehead towards those knees. So we've created a round, tight ball. For the extension or modification, the cow exercise, instead we can lengthen the arms and the legs all the way out. You can lift the ribs, arch your back, and draw the middle of the back away from the mat. So there is your modification. And now we're ready to continue with the main section of the video. So now we're going to roll carefully down onto the mat to find our neutral spine. Now, if you normally use a head block or a towel that's rolled up in order to bring that head into neutral alignment, then just pop your head block underneath the back of your head, not your neck, so that the chin can drop down and we can keep that nice long neck at the back of the neck there. We want the shoulders relaxed down into the mat, and you might notice a small space under your lumbar spine, and that's your normal natural curve. We want the pelvis to be flat and level with the mat, and as we begin to warm up through the abs, we're going to narrow the waist, drawing the belly button towards the spine but without altering the angle of the pelvis. We'll close down and in with the lower part of the ribs to flatten the torso and just tighten up all those core muscles ready for some work. Don't forget to lift your pelvic floor as well. Place your feet so they are level with your hips. The heels are in line with your sit bones. There is a small space between your knees and about a 90-degree angle behind the knee. We're lengthening the arms down by our sides, and don't forget to stretch those fingers. Lengthen the whole arm, reaching down with your shoulder away from the head. To begin with, we're just going to find those abs a little bit more by creating an imprinted spine. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale out, we're scooping down with the belly button and the rib cage, gently tilting the pelvis slightly back towards you as you push the middle of your back down into the mat. We're finding the mat underneath the whole of the spine while creating a deep contraction of those abdominals. Use your inward breath to release back to your neutral pelvis. Just doing a few of those then on the exhalation, tilting back and down. And on the inhalation, releasing back to center. You should feel those abs shortening and tightening as you use the outward breath. Now, if you have an injury which prevents you from lifting your head, or perhaps you have osteoporosis and you don't want to come into the chest lift position, just continue working on your imprinted spine. Otherwise, we're going to bring the fingertips just behind the head and open the elbows into that wider position. Start to stretch those elbows wide towards the floor. Inhale to prepare, and this time as you exhale, we're going to use that movement with the ribs down towards the hips to start to unpeel the back of the head, the shoulders and the upper spine, and lift the upper body into your chest lift position. Inhale to replace. So just doing a few ab curls to warm up through those abs. Really drawing the ribs downwards towards your hips. And it's very important when we do an ab curl that we've got a nice long free outward breath. Don't hold your breath and don't bear down on that pelvic floor. You should have a good view of your tummy, and we're trying to create a nice dish shape, so a downwards feeling of the muscle rather than a bulging upwards towards the ceiling. Eyes can then look between the thighs as you come into that curl position. We're just gently supporting the weight of the head with those fingertips, and we'll just do one more. Well done. And then bringing the head back to the mat, reaching the arms back down beside you. We're just going to start to warm up the lower abs. We need to keep that engaged feeling through the tummy muscles and lift the pelvic floor. If you are a beginner now, you can come into your imprint, so you've got the little bit more support from the floor. But if you've been doing Pilates for a little bit longer, just try and maintain that neutral position as you engage the core. And we're going to float one leg up into the tabletop position now. For the tabletop, remember the knees directly above the hip, lower leg level with the floor, and we're really stretching into those toes. And then inhale to replace the leg. Exhale, alternate tabletops, just bringing that leg into position, engaging the core, and inhaling to replace. Now make sure when you come up and down from your tabletop, you're not dropping your foot like this. There shouldn't be any movement or change in angle behind the knee. So you want to avoid doing that, but move the thigh away and then bring the thigh up. We're keeping those knees at that 90-degree angle. And then if you're feeling comfortable, you're not injured, and you don't have a problem with your pelvic floor, instead of just bringing one leg into that tabletop now, we're going to come up and add that second leg. There's your exhalation. For our next move, hold your tabletop, and it can be both legs or just one. It doesn't matter. We can work on one side at a time if you need to. And then just bring those fingertips lightly just to the side of the knee. Keep a little bit of softness in the elbow there. Stay nice and long through the back of the neck. And we're keeping those abs engaged. Now we're going to take an inhalation and just give those tabletop legs a semi-rest by drawing them slightly towards you, just an inch, not very far. Exhale and push them away, back away into that tabletop position. We're warming up those abs ready for the next move. Inhale, just gently coming slightly towards you. Exhale and away. We've got that tabletop catch position with the fingertips, so we should feel the arms as well, bending very slightly and then straightening as they move away. Keep the shoulders down though, don't let them round away from the mat. And we'll just do one more. Inhale to semi-rest. exhale out to your tabletop. Bring those arms back down and press down quite firmly before bringing the legs carefully back out of your tabletop position. And then we're ready to start our next move, which is the 100. Now for the 100 is traditionally actually a warm-up exercise, so it's usually done quite early on in the session, and we really want to find those abs big time now. We're going to warm up and increase the circulation of the body with some special breathing. So to begin with, floating your arms just a little bit above the mat, not too far, not too high up, and really bracing those arms. So they're lovely and straight. You're reaching into those fingertips and we're pulsing them a little bit up and down as you take 5 inward breaths and 5 outward puffs. So we're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, as you take that breathing pattern, you should really start to feel the arms warming up. They're getting hotter. The circulation is increasing. Our abs are warming up. They're supporting that move. Now, if you want to, you can keep your head down on your mat, or on your head block rather. But if you haven't got any injuries or conditions and you want to do so, come with me now, and we're going to come into our chest lift or ab curl position as well. So as breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for our next stage, we're going to add one leg in tabletop position. And if you need to, if you have an injury, you can just stick to that one leg in the tabletop and then switch halfway through. Or add your second leg now in your tabletop position. Lengthening into those fingertips, we're pushing down with the belly button towards the floor and lengthening up into the crown of the head. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do 10 more. And then hug your knees in towards you and relax that head down. If you noticed any tension creeping into your neck there for whatever reason, just roll your head all the way across to one side. Really press those shoulders down into the mat. And then take that roll across to the opposite side. I'm a little bit restricted because I've got the mic on, but you can take yours right across. And then come back to center. And we're just hugging in and out. Now for our next move, we're moving up into seated and back, and it's not suitable if you have osteoporosis or any kind of injury to your spine. So if you need to modify, your modification move now is going to be a tuck and a stretch. And this is similar to the one that we did at the beginning, except we're not going to arch the back. We're going to maintain neutral spine, keeping those ribs flat, and we're not lifting or arching the back away from the mat. You're just maintaining that position. Otherwise, coming with me now, we're going to just send those knees out a little bit into beginner level. Open the elbows wide to the side, take an inward breath. Exhale and rolling up toward your seated position. Keeping that gentle flexion through the spine, we'll inhale and come back to your tabletop chest lift. Exhale. So we've got gentle flexion, we've got control, inhaling and exhaling up and down. Inhale and exhale. And just massaging that back in towards the mat. And we'll just do 2 more here. Inhale and exhale. Well done. Just stay in seated or find your seated position now. So now we're going to lengthen out the legs. Sit up tall on the top of the sit bones, ready for a little bit of lengthening through the spine, our spine stretch. Again, if you need to modify, if you have an injury such as osteoporosis, where it is not a good idea for you to come into a deep rounded flexion, then you can keep your spine a little bit straighter and stick to that level 1 position. Otherwise, you can move through into that deeper position, which we'll come to in level 2. Inhale to reach and lengthen into those fingertips, level 1. Exhale, staying tall and straight. We're lengthening a little bit forward in front of the vertical, but keeping the spine straight. And then inhale to return to center. For level 2s, as you exhale, we're lengthening forward and then scooping in with the belly. Imagine you've got a large beach ball sitting on your thighs and you're lengthening your spine over the top, reaching those fingertips towards your feet. Inhale to restack your spine slowly from the bottom, middle, all the way up to the top. And again, exhale. Relax the shoulders. Inhale. Staying long through the neck. And again, exhale. And inhale. Well done. And exhale down. So now we're getting ready to come back down onto the mat. Make sure you've got plenty of room behind you. And we're coming down, just bringing one knee in that 90-degree position with us. Fingertips just behind the knee, elbows soft. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, scooping in with the belly, chin towards the chest, and rocking back to your chest lift position. Or bring your head all the way down to the mat. Now, if you're in your chest lift position, we're just holding that position. Otherwise, your head is on the mat and we're pressing those shoulders back. Now, lifting your pelvic floor, exhale and switch. So we're just guiding the knee and the foot position with the fingertips. Bending one leg in towards you gently, but really stretching out with that other leg out and away. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, if you have a little bit of tension just starting to creep into this position around the neck area, you can bring your hands behind the head, open those elbows, and just give that head a little bit of support, and then come back to your single leg stretch position. And then hug the knees in and release that down to the mat. Again, if there's any tension in the neck, just roll the head across to one side. Take a nice deep breath and center, and then all the way across to the opposite side and center. Well done. So next we're going to have a quick look at our double leg stretch. But if you have an injury to your spine, or you prefer to just stick with that single leg stretch, go back to the one we have just done rather than coming into your double legs. We do need those abs really engaged. We're drawing down with the ribs and lifting the pelvic floor. Guide the legs out into your tabletop position. So if you're unable to come into double tabletop, remember you're repeating your single leg stretch instead. We're exhaling and peeling up into chest lift tabletop position. Now this time we're going to exhale and reach up and away from the center. Inhale to sweep those arms wide and come back into your start position. Exhale, reach away. Inhale and sweep it wide. As you reach, be careful those arms are not too low. They shouldn't be anywhere near the floor. Exhale, 45 degrees. Inhale. Sweep it wide. And sweep. One more. And sweep. Well done. Hug it in. Lower the head and just ease out that neck. For our next move, we need to lengthen our hamstrings. So bringing the feet back down to the mat. So to lengthen out the hamstring, just reaching one leg down the mat, lengthening into the toes, and then we'll draw the other knee in towards the chest. Shoulders are down, chin is down, and we're lengthening through the back of the neck. Exhale, just stretch that leg towards the ceiling and point those toes. We want to keep the tail and the tailbone down on the mat. Don't let it round away. And just holding the stretch, taking a few deep breaths. And we've got the fingers clasped behind the thigh, elbows soft. On the next exhalation, chin to chest, and peel the back of the head, tighten those abs and press the leg into the hand to rock up to seated. Now we're going to switch legs. Take the hands to the other leg. Inhale, exhale, scoop in with your belly and your rib cage. Press down with your bottom leg and use your leg to support your weight as you come back down onto the mat. And then just work into that leg, give you a lovely stretch, shoulders back and down. Breathe into those toes, lengthen. Inhale, exhale, chin to chest, press into the hand, scoop the belly in and slowly back up to seated. And switch, inhale, exhale and rolling all the way back down. Now for our level 1 single straight leg stretch. For your level 1, lift your pelvic floor, tighten your abs, and we're just going to lower one leg, lift the other one on the exhalation and catch hold to give it a little pull in. 2 little pulls in there. We've got the floor underneath one leg for support. Watch the chin, stay long through the back of the neck. For level 2, we're going to switch those legs in mid-air. Tighten the tummy and switch. And switch. And switch. Now we do need a good strong pelvic floor, so if there's any kind of injury with your pelvic floor, just stick to level 1. For level 3, we'll exhale, chin to chest and lengthen up now towards the calf. We're creating a gentle flexion through the spine and it should feel as though you could rock gently on the spine. This is not suitable if you have osteoporosis. Pull in towards you and then switch. Inhale. Inhale. Just keep that breathing pattern going. Try not to rock up and down with your upper body. Just hold that position using those tummy muscles. We're lengthening into the crown of the head. And we'll just do one more. Each side. Well done. Hug those knees in now and lower your head. Just rock them in and out a couple of times. So now we're going to open up through the hip a little bit more. Lengthen one leg down the mat and really press the knee downwards into the mat, engaging the core. Come into your hamstring stretch. But if you're struggling in this position and you find it difficult to get your leg vertical, perhaps your leg is here, you're going to change your position into a tabletop leg position instead. Otherwise, we're lengthening again into the tips of the toes. Tighten the abs and this time bring your arms into a V shape down across the floor, shoulders back. We're drawing a circle coming across the body, very slightly down, out to the side and up towards the shoulders. Exhaling up towards the shoulders and again. Exhale. Now as you draw your single leg circle, we don't want any movement through your hip area. No swinging from side to side, no lifting or lowering of the hips. We've got to use those abs very strongly. And then reverse. Breathing in and out. And in and out. And we'll just do 2 more in that direction. And 1 more. Keeping that pelvis as still as you can. Well done. Now we're going to roll straight over onto our side from here. The leg you've just worked on the top, lengthen the arm out and place your ear on your bicep. Lengthen those toes, make sure the legs are the same length, so the heels are matching, hips are vertically stacked, and we've got one hand with the fingers just in front of the body. The same leg, we'll lift that leg straight up so it's directly above the bottom leg, and continue with those circles, exhaling to draw the leg up and back. And again, making that circle a little bit wider, a little bit higher, a little bit further behind you, and stretching into those toes. And reverse it. Keeping your body as still as you can, shoulders immobile, abs engaged. Just that leg is doing the movement. And one more. Well done. Now we're going to change ends for the other side. So getting ready with the opposite leg now, we're tightening the abs. You can draw the knee in towards you, lengthen into your hamstring stretch, or find your tabletop position for your leg circles and have your knee bent. Bring the arms into a low V shape out across your mat and try to widen and flatten the shoulders. When we do our circles, we're working very hard indeed with the abs and drawing down and in with the ribs. We don't want any movement through the pelvis. We're taking the leg a little bit out to the side without the opposite hip lifting, sweeping it slightly lower, coming across the body and then back up towards the shoulders. As you do this, you'll need an outward breath to bring the leg up higher towards the shoulders. We're trying to avoid any movement swinging or lifting through the pelvis or the hips and are pinned down on that mat with those strong abs. Your bottom leg is stretching down and pressing into the mat. It is not lifting or moving as you circle your leg. Then reverse it and do 4 to 6 circles in the opposite direction. Try to keep your breathing pattern going, exhaling up and across. Inhale. We're really working hard with those abs so that that opposite hip does not follow the movement. Press down with the arms to help you. And we'll just do one more. Well done. Then lowering that leg, we're ready to work the same leg from the side. Extend your arm out and rest your head on your bicep. Lengthen the body. We need to squeeze the glutes and draw in with the tummy muscles and make sure those hips are vertically stacked. Lift that top leg directly above the bottom leg and then begin your circles. We shouldn't have more of the circle in front of the bottom leg than behind. We need to be stretching back behind and a little bit in front. But your circle shouldn't be very visible to the eye. So we don't want that circle right in front of you, here somewhere. All right, keep that leg lengthening up towards the ceiling. And then we've got to reverse it. Now we're also trying to avoid too much movement through the rest of the body. So with your shoulders, we're attempting to keep those as still as possible, even though you're moving the lower part of your body in a wide circle. And again, we'll do 2 more. And 1 more. Well done if you manage those. So now we're going to roll over onto our tummies to work the back of the hip. Coming over onto your tummy then, And we'll start off with the hands just folded one on top of the other and lengthening the forehead onto the back of your hand. Stretch out those legs, and with one leg just tuck the toe underneath. Now lifting your knee to straighten that leg, making a little space underneath the kneecap. Squeeze your glute, tighten your tummy, and then lift the foot and point the foot so the foot and the leg are floating just above the ground. We're going to circle it round in a little mini circle. And circle. I think Lammy's joining in that one. Now as you do that little circle, we're working the glute. Try to keep your hip down on the floor. And then reverse it. And circle. Exhale up. And one more. And then lower it down. Now if my circle wasn't big enough, I can definitely blame that one on Lammy. So we'll do the other side then, lengthening the neck, forehead onto the hands. Tuck the toe underneath on the other leg and lift your kneecap. We've made a space under the knee and the thigh. Point your toe. The leg is floating. We're squeezing the glute to hold it there. And then draw a little circle with that leg up and around. It needn't be very big, but we want to try and keep the hips square down on the mat. We're not moving the body away like this. Keep those hips down. Just the glute doing that work. Be careful that you are not bending your knee here and just circling your foot. Keep that leg absolutely straight and then reverse it. Little tiny circles in the other direction. Everything else square and still. And finding those glute muscles. Let's just do 2 more. And 1 more. Well done. And that's definitely woken up those glutes. Now we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Just turn the toes out. The kneecaps just poking out to the side, and we're continuing to squeeze the glute. But we're going to warm up the upper body in some swan dive prep. Take your arms wider than your mat. Elbows down. We're lengthening out from the body into those elbows, forearms parallel with the edge of your mat, extending your fingers. Now, start off by squeezing the glutes, keeping the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, and we're using the back muscles just to lift slightly away from the floor. Lastly, the elbows can follow, but keep them sweeping inwards towards the mat, the shoulders down, lengthening the back of the neck. Exhale as you lower the elbows first, and then the rest of the body. We'll do that little swan dive prep again. Inhale to lengthen all the way up the back of the neck into the crown of the head. And squeeze those glutes. And exhale to lower. Now as we do these little prep back muscle exercises, it's important we're not using the hands to take over. So try to avoid the elbows moving out into this press up position. As you can see, I'm leaning on the hands rather than using the back muscles. They stay rotated in, those elbows. And try to avoid the shoulders moving upwards towards the ears like this. Again, the hands have taken over rather than those back muscles doing the work. If you start to feel your hands taking over, you can just do a half one keeping the elbows down and just moving away from the mat using the back muscles. Do a little test by lifting and lowering the hands before then continuing up, pressing those shoulders down away from the ears. Now we're going to do the same move for the legs. Leave the hands where they are, forehead down on the mat, and straighten out those legs. We're just lifting them a little bit away from the mat, squeezing the glutes. There's no movement of the upper body, and then lowering them back down. 3 more. And exhale as you lift those legs. Inhale to lower. 2 more. And exhale. Really stretch those toes, it's key. And 1 more. Inhale. Well done. Now you can continue just practicing the upper and then the lower, or we can now try and stitch those 2 moves together for our swan dive prep. So here we go. Inhale, upper body on its own. Now squeeze those glutes, and as you exhale, the upper body moves towards the mat as the legs move up and away. Inhale, upper body. Exhale, lower body. Inhale, upper body. Exhale, lower body. 1 more. Stretch and exhale. Well done. Lower the feet. Keep the feet wide as you bring the body into child's pose. The knees are going to move as wide as the mat. Hands are almost as wide as the mat as well. Bring the toes together and then stretch up with your tail to stretch out those glutes. We're lengthening the chest gently down towards the mat. Now, if your back isn't quite ready yet, and mine isn't, I've got a very stiff back, so if it's not quite ready yet, don't force the chest down. Just start to let it go. When you feel it let go, you can bring the head into the neutral position. So the head is in line with your spine. In an ideal world, we want the chest to be the lowest point here. So don't be tempted to drop your head onto your mat like this. We're stretching the chest down deep between the knees, and then take a nice deep breath into the back of your rib cage and exhale out. Well done. So now we're going to come forward back onto our elbows and lower the hips down. You can see we're starting off in our Sphinx position. Stretch those shoulders down, elbows are in, directly under the shoulder, and we've got a nice parallel forearm. It's level with the edge of your mat. Inhale to lengthen up the back of the neck into the crown of the head. And we're going to find a little half plank position now, just introducing plank. Exhale as you push down and forward into your elbows. Scoop the belly button in, the rib cage in, and we've got a slight rounding or flexion of the spine. As you scoop that belly, unpeeling the pubic bone and the upper thighs a little bit away from the floor. Inhale to re-peel. Now it might be that you can hold your plank for a few seconds and breathe in that position. So let's go again. Exhale. Now you can either inhale and re-peel, or see if you can hold that for a second or 2. Re-peel when you're ready to take a rest. If you'd like to take that to the next level, however, tuck your toes underneath. Keep your hips where they are, don't move them. And we're going to lift one knee and then the second knee to hold our elbow plank. Again, if you want to, lower the knees and the hips and take a rest. Otherwise, coming to the next level, we'll put one hand under the shoulder, second hand under the shoulder, and we're now in our full plank. Now we've got to keep those abs engaged exactly as you did with your little half plank. So try not to let the hips sag towards the floor. Try not to let your head go down towards the floor either. We're using those postural muscles to hold that plank position. And when you're ready to take a rest, lower the knees and relax the feet and come back down for a moment for a little rest and a nice deep breath. Well done. So next we're going to have a look at our side plank levels. Now the easiest way to start off with your side plank is up on the elbow with those knees a little bit bent. Make sure the knees are the same length as each other and your feet are in line with your hip as you look down. The elbow is directly under the shoulder, but we need to lengthen up out of that shoulder, not sink in towards it. We're engaging the underside of the body now for a side plank, and I promise you the side plank is your best friend. So start off with our level 1. Knees bent, knees down, and we're just going to unpeel a little bit away from that mat. Just that bottom hip lifting out away from the mat. And you can hold it for a second or two, and then when you're ready, re-peel back down. So for our next level, we'll try straightening out the top leg. Still the foot needs to be in line with your hip and your shoulder, and you need to tuck your butt in a little bit more now. We're using a little bit more abs, and there is more weight now through the shoulder, but you do need to be pressing down into that top foot. This time as you exhale, you're pressing down into the bottom knee and the top foot as you hold your position. And again, you can hold it for a few seconds or just come straight back down into rest when you're ready. And it's better to take a rest than lose your technique. For our next level, we're going to split the feet. Top leg is coming slightly in front of the body, bottom leg slightly behind. And coming into that elbow plank this way. For the next level, try stacking your feet and holding your plank. This shoulder, this top shoulder, must stay back though, don't twist forward. And then we're ready for our last level, our full side plank. And again, you can do this either with the knees bent, lifting the hips away, with the top leg straight, or you can have one foot in front of the other, or stack your feet and hold your plank. And just see if you can hold it for a few seconds. To come out of this one, just rotate the hand down and then step underneath. Well done. Let's do a few on the opposite side. Whichever level you've chosen, we're going to find our start position now. Come up into your plank, release it and take a rest if you want to, or move up to your next level. See if you can hold. Maybe split your feet. See if you can come up onto the hand, if your wrist will allow, and stack. And if that's not enough for you, you can even add that top leg balance. And release. Well done if you managed all or any of those. Let's come out and come back down carefully to the mat. Now, while we're on the subject of our plank positions, which really do help to encourage strength in the whole body, it would be silly not to include our reverse bridge. So just carefully rolling over and bring your hands a little bit behind the body. Now, hopefully you won't have a dog in the way. Fingertips are going to be pointing to start with for level 1, a little bit out to the side, a micro bend in those elbows, and chest is out. Now I'm going to start off with my feet placed firmly down on the mat, and those knees are bent, and simply just lift the hips away from the floor, sending them up towards the ceiling. Don't tip your head back though, and then bring that back down. Now to make that into the next level, all we need to do is straighten out the legs. Same thing, just bringing that hip up, body in line, neutral spine, chin is in, we're lengthening into the crown of the head and coming back down. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you might be able to bring the fingers and just place them so that they are facing forwards now under the body. Elbows are pushing and facing the back of the room as you reach your chest out and then come into your reverse bridge that way. Don't spend too long in that position. We don't want too much tension in the neck. And just breathe and release. Well done. Now I'd like to finish with a couple of roll-ups to finish. So I'm just going to ask Lammy to move a little bit over off the mat, hopefully. Well done, Lammy. And then we're ready for our roll down. Make sure you've got enough room behind you as well. We'll inhale to lengthen up. Exhale, skipping the belly button in, lengthening into those fingertips. Release those shoulders, chin to chest. Inhale to the back of the rib cage. Exhale as we begin to place one vertebra down onto the mat at a time. Scooping in with the belly. Lower back, middle back, shoulders. Now chin is still on the chest as I lengthen the back of the neck out across the mat. And as you reach over, don't lose those ribs. So don't let the back arch away from the mat. Take your inward breath. Retract the shoulders as the arms come back over. And as you exhale, the chin will unpeel, back of the neck, upper spine, middle spine, lower spine. And we're coming back into our spine stretch position before inhaling and re-peeling the spine, bottom, middle, upper. And we'll just do 2 more to finish. And 1 more. Well done. Lovely deep breath in. And exhale out and down. Well done. Now it's always nice to allow the body to relax at the end of a session. So find your way down onto your mat. You can roll down if you want to, or just find your way down onto the mat. And then make sure you're nice and comfortable. Relax the head back. Pop your head block under there if you need to. And we're going to find that lovely comfortable position, relaxing the fingers, so palms uppermost, let the fingers curl, feet can flop open, you can close your eyes, relax those facial muscles, and then begin your relaxation. For today's short relaxation, we're going to visualize that we have taken a gentle stroll outside through a beautiful wildflower meadow. And we're going to reconnect with nature, tapping into this natural source of energy for a moment. In your mind's eye, picture a beautiful wildflower meadow surrounded by woodland. There are no artificial sights or sounds, only the wildlife around you. You have made your way slowly along a path that is surrounded by the natural colours, sounds and smells of nature.
It is a lovely summer's day, and you don't need to do anything or be anywhere. You have plenty of time to relax. You can unwind and absorb the vibrant energy of the nature around you. You lay down amongst the grasses and the soft clover to gaze for a while at the white puffy clouds gliding across the bright blue sky. You feel the warmth of the sun on your skin and the gentle heat from the earth beneath you. The grass itself feels cool and relieving. Close your eyes and listen for a while. Hear the insects softly buzzing as they flit from flower to flower. The birds are singing happily in the trees. You hear the sound of the breeze as it rustles the grasses and comes and goes, whispering and sighing through the leaves of the trees. The nature around you is balanced and yet gentle, teeming with life and vibrancy. The air is clear and fresh, and you can smell the drying summer grass and the sweet, soft scent of the wild flowers. Allow your body to relax, to be open, the natural energy flowing all around you. Imagine your own body as you lay there, spreading outwards, loosening, growing its own roots. Visualize your body extending its roots out from the soles of your feet, from the ends of each finger, and from the top of your head. Your roots uncoil and begin connecting and growing into the earth itself. They become firmly embedded into the ground, moving deep into the soil to connect you firmly. Now visualize the continuous flow of natural energy. It's flowing through the roots from Mother Earth into your body. The earth is providing you with all that you need. Positive, vibrant energy flows into your body, just as sap would rise and flow through the plants and the trees around you. This source is endless, and you can absorb as much of this pure natural energy as you need. Just like the nature around you, you can absorb the light of the sun, the pure fresh air, and the energy from the earth. Feel the natural life force flowing through your veins. You feel energized, rebalanced, grounded. Feel grateful for nature's energy. Now take a deep breath of the sweet countryside air. Visualize yourself having received this gift of natural energy as you stand slowly in your mind's eye. You still feel connected to the earth, but you can move freely once again. You're going to continue your stroll through your beautiful flower meadow, taking with you a new refreshed feeling of sustenance. Each step that you take from here feels lighter and more energized. You feel renewed but more grounded. You feel gratitude for the energy you received. Know that you can tap into this natural and endless pure energy anytime you want to.
Well, thank you very much for joining us in our session today at the beautiful Crick Jubilee Wood Flower Meadow. I hope you enjoyed the session as much as Nami and I did today, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon on the water.